Rage Shadow Legends! Nana centers around two girls, both named Nana. They cross paths in Tokyo, one pursuing a music career, the other one wants to move in with her boyfriend. Eventually, they become roommates. And a lot of stuff happens. Oh my gosh, this anime is pretty wild. Nana is a weird situation since the story in the manga never officially finished. There's 21 volumes released between the year 2000 and 2009, and it has apparently been on indefinite hiatus, and it seems like the mangaka has completely given up any attempts at finishing the story. The original run of the Nana manga was incredibly difficult to find. I even sold some volumes that I had for $30 to $40 each. They were becoming that rare. Luckily, it looks like Nana is being reprinted. So the nightmare for manga collectors is over and the nightmare for manga investors begins. Sadly, I will not be talking about the manga in this episode. We're going to be talking about the anime that lasted 47 episodes that released in 2006. Ugh. I wish there was a mobile game that was free to play, 400 million downloads, amazing graphics, and over 700 unique champions.
Have you heard of Raid Shadow Legends?
Well, of course I have. But what makes it so special?
Well, foolish one. Each champion has their own unique skills and abilities, as well as 15 epic factions, from orcs.
Is there big muscly orc women?
Multiple.
I'm in!
There's 12 dungeons, each with a brutal boss, PvP combat, and you can play on mobile or desktop. They just added Akumori, the Phantom Shogun, guarding everything you need for accessory ascension, a new feature that allows you to upgrade your gear to even greater heights. And if you've somehow managed to miss out on the incredible animated limited series, Raid Call of the Arbiter, then you can check out all 10 episodes on the official Raid Shadow Legends YouTube channel now.
Click the link in the description or scan this QR code to get your free starter pack. And you can join me in my clan and we'll be legends together. Nana is one of those anime that's incredibly influential, but it seems like no one has seen it. It gets amazing reviews and people online talk about it as a massive influence to them. But actually finding someone who's seen or read Nana is difficult. It's a show that people know they should watch, but glaze over it because on the surface, it's a difficult sell. It's a show that doesn't have similar widespread appeal like shonen anime. It's an anime that requires your patience and the promise that it'll become one of your favorites by the end of it. But if you have trouble getting people to watch, just tell the crusty introvert that there's a hot goth girl in it and chances are they'll at least give it a try. Both Nanas are polar opposites, exploring the idea of opposites attract and the appeal of the bad boy / bad girl. The appeal comes from knowing that there's someone next to you that's experienced aspects of life that you haven't, making it feel like they're more mature or worldly.
A toast to the fact that both of us are called Nana.
Hachi is going through a personal crucible, difficulty learning how to maintain a relationship with her boyfriend, and trying to find a job in a big city, as well as living on her own. She is 20 years old, which is around the time when most everyone goes through major life changes, or is on the cusp of life changes. So it's easy for the audience to empathize with her based solely on similar age.
What's wrong with you staying at your boyfriend's place?
I'm not sure now is the time to be discussing nonsense like that.
Nonsense!
Ah yes, the easiest way to get two women to band together, a rude man. Hachi is impetuous, quickly falling in love with men and going in and out of relationships. She makes decisions without giving it much thought and lets her heart lead her life, but it also leads her to being hurt very often. There's multiple times where people will use her naivete against her to take advantage of her.
You want some nice guy to be part of your life, but only if it's on your terms. You never stop to think about my feelings or how you might be messing around with my heart.
But she desperately tries to hold on to being a free spirit, but her nature makes it to where she can't become friends with someone first, which is an important part of being in a relationship. She's even slept with a married man because of her quote-unquote free spirit. Hachi's relationship with her boyfriend is complicated, but it is more honest than her previous relationships. She wanted to be a friend with him first and actually pushed him away at first. It's only after she realized how much better her life is with him did she realize she had feelings for him. But it's difficult to tell if it's an honest relationship or if she's pursuing him because she feels more mature, or if there's a sort of codependence that's developing between them and she can't tell the difference. Hachi has a lot of issues with not knowing how to progress her life and relies on others rather than herself in order to do it. Also, men in this show kinda suck. Not gonna mince words. No, the men associated with Hachi kinda suck. Also, they eventually call the pink Nana Hachi, and because having two Nanas is confusing, I'm just gonna call her Hachi. They named her that after the loyal Hachiko story because she acts like a dog, blah, 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 it's a joke, whatever. Nana is a high school dropout that turned into a rock star pursuing gig after gig with a bunch of other punks. This show focuses a lot of young adult life. Sleeping with people, independence, feeling lost and figuring out what to do, or just being intimate with another human. It takes a lot of time making every character feel human. It's a lot of talking, but it's like getting to know a stranger and their troubled past. It's a show about being vulnerable. Nana growing up in more difficult conditions, shoplifting, smoking, and hearing about what events in their life led them down to exactly where they are now. Nana didn't initially want to go to Tokyo. She didn't really care about being in a serious relationship. At the very least, her relationship was better than Hachi's, but she moved to Tokyo pursuing her dream for her own sake. She was moving for herself. And the friends in her life genuinely care about her. Not only that, but her partner never fully requited her feelings.
He's always been a womanizer, but he never cheated on you. Not once. That just proves how much he's in love with you.
Oh my god, the bar is on the floor. Not cheating is a standard, not a bonus. Her boyfriend got a record deal and had to move to Tokyo, and Nana didn't want to be in his way, so they separated. And so Nana went to Tokyo as a reward for her choosing the pain of independence, all the while Hachi moved to Tokyo to pursue her codependence. Side note, in the early episodes, they like to reuse a lot of animation. There's literally a whole episode that is just a rehash of episode 1. You can skip episode 6 entirely, and you can skip like half of episode 7. So really, there's only 46 episodes.
Why's that?
It's not that we have anything against her. It's just you aren't exactly a good judge of people.
Yeah, and what's that say about you? Nana still holds feelings for Ren, her pseudo-ex-boyfriend. And since they made it big, she has to see his face plastered everywhere, and she still sees that he's wearing the necklace she gave him, and he was still paying the rent for their apartment back in their old home, meaning he still has feelings for her as well, creating a situation where both girls want what each other has.
Do I even know what I really want? Something is missing.
Eventually, Nana and Hachi starts to try to make a new band after her friend starts coming to visit her in Tokyo, and they get this high schooler, Shinichi, or Shin, auditioning, trying to join, and he catches on quickly and becomes the new bass player. And as a little thank you to Hachi, Nana gives her a little smoochy smooch. Totally normal, nothing to read into here. We all know they'd both be girlfriends if they weren't straight. Since Hachi is so busy with Nana, her boyfriend starts making friendly with a coworker. So all in one go, we have a budding potential relationship issues. Do I think Soji, Hachi's boyfriend, kinda sucks? Yes. Do I think he's the sole reason for this relationship with Hachi being difficult? No. Hachi has a major issue with being a proper partner as well. She's getting excited in the hell did I just see? What? Anyway, Hachi is getting excited with actually finding independence. She's finding other people that she connects with and a goal that she can pursue that doesn't require her relying on another person. Now she's ghosting her boyfriend. Both of them are really just dropping the ball in their relationship. Neither of them are innocent. And so you see they're experiencing this cognitive dissonance within themselves, where they say they're in a relationship with each other, that they want to be in this relationship, but what they do is counterintuitive to what they say, and we watch their relationship falter. Nana, however, is finding that the friends she made back home is holding her up, and is learning that maybe she doesn't need to rely solely on herself, that her life is better when she's not alone.
Did elope, didn't you?
Huh?
Hi, Mom, I'm home.
I did read someone mentioning the quote-unquote casual racism that turned them away from this show. Okay, so this released back in 2006, and what she is supposed to be is a gyaru gal, which it's supposed to be tan skin, but clearly the animators didn't draw her like that. Now, I'm not going to pretend I'm an expert in Japanese culture surrounding this issue. All I know is that gyaru specifically, as far as I'm aware, isn't directly tied with racism, unlike how we perceive it as blackface. However, I did hear in Japan that there's some lingering issues with racism, but even that heavily depends on your experience, and even then, it's not even quite technically racism, and it's more xenophobia. And as anime got popular in the United States, these animation companies started really focusing on like how we would perceive things and started tailor making them a little bit better to where it'd be more palatable for us. I think the best example is probably Joko from Shaman King, where they changed him from being more of a caricature to basically just changing his lips. And that's basically all they needed to do. So keep in mind when you watch this show, I'm pretty sure there wasn't any animosity when they did this sort of thing, but this is definitely considered insensitive in the US, but it's an older show, just take it with a grain of salt. Shoji mans up and tries to break it off with Sachiko, trying to choose Hachi over her, but it's obvious that both of them have feelings for each other, and Shoji ended up leading her on.
If you could do it, you would, wouldn't you?
Nope.
Is it because you're scared of Junko?
I wouldn't cheat because I'm scared of losing Junko.
Oof, oh, I feel like a lot more guys need to hear this, wow. Then he totally backpedals and starts cheating on Hachi with Sachiko. So now he's a scumbag and I hate him. Then again, Hachi used to help married men cheat, so they both really suck. Just when Shoji was about to do the right thing and just break up with Hachi, they kinda catch the two of them being a little too close to each other, and Hachi puts two and two together. I mean, thank goodness Nana was there to be the support, since dang, that's gotta suck.
Are you telling me you've got 2 girlfriends? Boy, what a lucky guy.
Nana then goes to beat him up. Sachiko honestly is ending up following the footsteps of Hachiko before she came to Tokyo. Though it feels worse since she didn't know he was dating someone before she fell in love with him, and Hachi decides that she never wants to see him again, which is the right move. Cheaters don't deserve to be fought for, screw that guy. The show starts switching from showing toxic relationships and drama to teaching people how to grow up and learn how to be in a healthy relationship. It shows the audience common issues with people and what they might face in their relationships, and shows these characters going through all the mistakes.
A razor blade?
These are the tickets for the Trap Nest concert!
Oh, of course. Now that we're wrapping up Hachi's complicated issues, time to complicate Nana's life. Hachi starts talking to old fans of Nana's band, and she starts finding out that the super famous Ren Honjo was in her band. And also they probably dated because she has a tattoo based on him, so... After the whole situation with Hachi, the show focuses a lot on Nana and Hachi's friendship. At this point, now Nana becomes the most important person in Hachi's life, and really leans on her to help her get past her breakup. And Nana actually really steps up to the plate. She seems to really like Hachi just as much as she likes her, and this is what I think is the best part of the show. Focusing on the importance of friendship, even if Hachi starts getting flustered at the thought of maybe the two of them being a thing, but you know, whatever. We're focusing on their friendship for now. And since it's just the two of them, Nana starts opening up for the first time, telling Hachi how her mom abandoned her at 4 and was raised by her grandmother. Hachi learns that Nana is really sort of jealous of her family.
And it always made me kind of sad to think you couldn't confide in me. So that's why I'm happy. Because you told me.
After the concert, Ren starts freaking out over seeing Nana, and Yasu, their friend, starts lighting a fire under him to try to get them to actually do something. Either he pursues Nana, makes amends, and starts again, or leave her behind. And he gives Ren Hachi's number so that they can get in contact with him. So Nana and Ren finally meet once again after 3 years, and the tension is palpable. And even though Nana isn't looking to get back together with him, hearing that Ren missed her was almost everything she needed. I don't know why Nana and Ren wouldn't get back together. They both clearly still have feelings for each other. And from what I could tell, their relationship from 3 years ago seemed pretty good. I know Nana wants to make her own band and rise to stardom like Ren on her own, but she can do that while also dating Ren, can't she? She wouldn't be holding him back either. Like he's already made it, he's there. But I guess it would really suck if she were living in his shadow. I guess they could date in secret, hopefully. That becomes a little thing happening later on in this show, so stay tuned, don't worry, I'm just foreshadowing stuff that happens. Old habits die hard. I mean, I guess it makes sense that since Nana knows someone in a band, Hachi would end up going after the other super hot band member that is also single. Less than 1 minute into their car ride date, he plants a kiss on her. Like, bro, being a rock star gives you way too much power, and everyone tried to warn Hachi that he's just a player. He's a fuckboy. You're being used. Come on, girl. Hachi, listen. I know you're going through tough times right now, and you want a man who will actually love you. But if this is just a one-night stand, I say you should go for it. He's hot. Hell, I'd sleep with him.
I can't tell Nana. I don't want her to think I'm a slut.
I don't feel like you're being a slut. I feel like you're taking advantage of a golden opportunity. Listen, if you're not comfortable, then ditch. I get it. But we support women's rights and women's wrongs. So they do the dirty. And he ditches in the middle of the night. I would say he's a scumbag, but we all knew where this was going. Psych! He left his phone number. I'm now much more scared. Now Hachi has the best and worst thing anyone can give to another person. Hope. Everyone finds out that Takumi slept with Hachi, and now we're finding out Nobu has feelings for Hachi, so now they gotta put up the dukes and settle this like real men. And by that I mean he's a little jelly-welly and doesn't know what to do and pretends to others to be tough. So yeah, now Takumi has enemies. At least he actually came back to see her instead of just ghosting her, so that's nice, I guess. I'm still wary about all this. He gives me the ick.
Remember, it's not just men that get horny. It happens to women, too.
You can't lump her in with all the sluts you've been mooching off of.
That's only because they're lonely. Hachi had just broken up with her boyfriend. Maybe she was feeling lonely. Even if this was something that happened in the heat of the moment, I'll bet she'll get more and more attached to him.
Why is a 15-year-old spitting facts? How did this kid get like this? Speaking of Sheen, he's sleeping with the lead singer of Trap Nest. This kid has been sleeping around with a bunch of people apparently, and literally selling his body. So now the story revolves around Hachi wanting to sleep with Takumi even though she knows that he's scummy. And she'd actually be pretty happy if Takumi left him because the thought of dating Nobu sounds better to her. But she's too starstruck by Takumi to say no, so she's just casually sleeping with Takumi, casually hurting Nobu, and feeling bad about all of it. Funny enough, Nana's band is actually doing really well, even getting a record deal. So now Nana and Hachi's relationship is going to be strained. If I had to guess, it looks like this story is heading in the direction of showing us that our friendships are just as, if not more important, than our romantic life. The major theme of Nana is how to pursue happiness, and one of the most important aspects of happiness is your personal relationships. Your job and personal goals are important, but it's the people around you that heavily dictate your happiness. And Hachi is finding out the one person who she actually cares about might be separating from her as Nana finds success with her band and her relationship.
I never knew Hachiko had a boyfriend. I thought she was only in love with you.
Get real, that's impossible.
I don't know. When I'm down bad, suddenly I start switching sides. Who's to say Hachi isn't the same? Hachi and Nobu actually start talking, like on a personal level. Nobu stops romanticizing Hachi and starts seeing her like a person, and the two of them becomes closer. And Nobu finally tells her how he truly feels. Nana's story, at least so far, is really good, and I see why people like this show. But I have one gripe, and oh my goodness, it is so slow. I like shows that have a lot of introspection, and I like getting to know characters on a personal level. But geez, they really wanted to stretch this anime out. It's all not quite as bad as Black Clover, but it's pretty bad. Nana admits that she wanted Nobu and Hachi dating so that Hachi doesn't run away all the time, which is sort of weird, like, it's manipulative a little bit. And then Hachi finds out she's pregnant. Question is, who's the father? Not only is Hachi having trouble deciding if she wants to keep the baby, but they start exploring the idea of maternal instinct. Nana doesn't really relate to the idea of maternal instinct since her mom and dad weren't in her life, and she believes there's just certain people that shouldn't have kids. And Sheen, the 15-year-old, was also abandoned by his parents, even going so far as to say he doesn't like the fact that he was born. And Ren, Nana's boyfriend, talks a lot about having a family with Nana. Now we start tackling two different viewpoints of a very heavy subject. What can be something to celebrate for some people is another person's worst nightmare. Now they have to decide if Hachi is even capable of raising a child.
Are you all right?
I'm gonna get an abortion, so don't worry. Listen, you don't need to feel responsible. I'm the foolish one.
No, whoever the father is, it's both of your fault. Safe sex is the responsibility of both parties. Takumi, being the raging jerkwad that he is, locks Hachi in the bathroom, takes her phone, calls Nobu, and tells him that Hachi is pregnant, and that they don't know who the father is, but it could be either one of them. God, I hate Takumi so much.
If Nana wants to keep it, I plan to recognize the baby as mine and take care of both of them.
Wow, you plan to do the bare minimum. How noble. Nana also didn't really break up with Takumi before dating Nobu. You know what? Everyone is pretty garbage in this show, except Nobu. I only feel bad for Nobu. How do people get in these situations? I swear. And this is why I got a vasectomy. You are not gonna catch me in this sort of BS. They don't beat around the bush when it comes to exploring the harsh reality of the situation. If Nobu is the father, then he'll have to give up the band and his dreams to help raise the baby. And Takumi will most likely only send money and not even bother marrying her, so she'll have to raise it on her own. She'll have to be connected to someone she doesn't even like for the rest of her life. And it's all because she was stupid. During sex ed, they taught us this really helpful trick to frame your life. People usually live to be about 80 years old. Put that on a timeline from 0 to 80. Actually, I should do it from your perspective. From 0 to 80. In the middle is 40 years old, and that's half of your life. Midlife crisis, we get it. The majority of people who are watching this video right now are about 20. So you guys have only lived about a quarter of your lives. You still have the rest of your life to go. There's a lot to live. And a baby is a commitment for the rest of it. And it affects the kid's life just as much as yours. I mean, yes, sure, I get it. It was to scare us into having safe sex, but it's a really helpful tool to just frame a lot of other things. Once they told me that and framed it like that, suddenly 40 years old doesn't seem that old to me anymore. And I think more people are realizing this when they're having children. Like nowadays, you really have to wait before having a kid and make sure you're ready and stable to have a kid. That is not Hachi's situation. Listen, it's okay to be a slut. Just don't be a dumb slut.
I want to have this baby and raise it as your child.
Want to get married?
Huh?
Well, shoot fire and call me Santa. I was not expecting that. Now we have to deal with Nana. If Takumi and Hachi are going to get married, they're going to have to move in together. And so Hachi is up and leaving Nana out to dry. Nana feels left out, forgotten. They're supposed to be friends, and this is a very cruel situation. And Nana can't really move in with her boyfriend, Ren, because they don't want the paparazzi using her as a media weapon against him. Takumi is afraid they'll use her as the foundation for a scandal, and Nana is going to release their debut album soon. Honestly, I gotta side with Takumi on this. The music industry is cutthroat and the media is the devil. Still sucks though. Quick disclaimer, the next scene that I'm about to show and comment on has very light insinuations of SA. So, if that makes you uncomfortable, skip to this timestamp. It lasts next to no time whatsoever. Okay? 3, 2, 1.
Well, don't you realize how mad I've been? I can't stand to think that another guy was inside you. Just focus on making me happy.
Okay, so he's still a scumbag. Just letting everyone know, in case there's some kids watching that don't get it, you can be, R-worded by your partner as well. Some people think you can't, but a no is a no, even if you're dating or married. I think a big lesson that this show delivers is also how much we can take good friends for granted. Friendships are a relationship just like any other, and it requires work just like any other. When you start getting too comfortable and stop trying, it'll deteriorate just like the rest of your relationships. And we start developing expectations because they're your friend. But both people have a responsibility to be a good friend. Sometimes you don't need Prince Charming to make your world better. Sometimes you just need someone else. It really hurts when Hachi leaves, moved out completely, and only left a note behind for Nana. This is a story of people who could have had something better and just threw it away because of difficult circumstances. Obviously, the news gets out that Ren and Nana are dating, and then the world goes nuts. Now that the going got tough, we start to see Nana's true priorities. She realized that she wants Hachi back more than Nobu. And now that both of her and her boyfriend are both pursuing difficult careers, she's not sure she even wants to continue a relationship with him anymore. Nana can't come to terms with her own feelings, and she starts having what looks like a panic attack the more she thinks about Hachi. They start to really delve into the unhealthy codependency that Ren and Nana have. Ren is also starting to abuse substances now that Nana and him have to be separate. And Ren and Yasu are bickering because Nana could honestly be with either of them. Both of them are becoming unstable. So Ren and Nana have a conversation. And just like Takumi, Ren asks Nana to marry him, which I'm not sure how to feel about this. On one hand, the relationship is kind of toxic, but also they're good to each other and I want to see them together. Who knows? This may be the right move.
That fool really went too far this time. I definitely won't marry him.
I don't know. Hachi is off the table now. You won't have a lot of opportunities to date when you're a rock star. Nana starts to realize that yes, Hachi was kind of a jerk by just ignoring their friendship. But Nana is also feeling bad that she also didn't do much to help her when Hachi was going through a tough time. And now the thing pushing her forward isn't just doing this for herself, she's pursuing her career for Hachi. Nobu had the opportunity to talk to Hachi to come to terms with what happened and reach an understanding, but he was too weak. He can't tell if he loved her for her or if he just liked the idea of rescuing her from a crummy situation. And he knows that talking to her may only make things worse. She's made her decision, and her decision wasn't Nobu. We jump forward several years. Satsuki, Hachi's child, was born and is a little kid now, and they're meeting up with Nana and the band for the upcoming festival. Now, I don't know where the manga left off, but I'm guessing they're going away from the manga and writing their own ending, given that the manga never properly wrapped up. They're meeting up at their old apartment, and which has become a yearly ritual for all of them. The story is quickly wrapped up just to give the anime a proper ending. But even then, we don't really know how things ended between Nobu and Hachi, and we do not know how Nana's life developed. During the entire anime, they have these monologues that is all retrospective, as if they're talking from the future, retelling all these events as if it were a story. And they talk about, it insinuates that Nana and Hachi are no longer like friends or in each other's lives. And it really makes you question what happened. It leaves a lot to be desired. We are all just left hanging. Nana is a great show, exploring turbulent relationships, along with pursuing happiness and learning to grow up. There's a lot of stuff that happens in this show. But along the way, it starts to focus too much on drama. Eventually, all the characters just start moping around and none of them know what to do. The evolution of their situation reaches a zenith and there isn't any payoff. They just kind of stay there where everything's at a boil. Things need to, happen, and it doesn't. Obviously, the big issue is that the manga never finished, so there was probably them stretching things out, hoping that there's gonna be more material for them to work off of, and they're just stretching it out and waiting for the manga to finish, because that happens sometimes when they were, during the days when they were releasing anime series while a manga was being serialized, instead of doing it like they do now, where it's like, oh yeah, this volume to this volume, season 1, that's all we're doing. If they want more, if it's popular, we'll get a season 2. Much smarter now, much smarter that way. This was not during that time. And if things unfolded in the manga like they did in the anime, I can see why this manga never finished. It feels like they didn't know where to go. The message was being lost, and it was all just left floundering. It was like they were just trying to adds stuff to hold the interest of the audience rather than actually trying to construct a proper narrative. It's a shame how Nana just kind of fell off. There was a lot of potential with this kind of story, but what it did cover, regardless of it not being properly finished, it's still worth watching or reading in some people's cases. You can learn a lot from this kind of story. Honestly, I think more people about maybe the age of like 15, around there, they should really consider watching Nana. It just has a lot of solid foundational stuff that you're gonna need to know when you become an adult. And 15 is like right at the precipice of when you're gonna be dealing with all this stuff. I mean, it makes sense why Shinji, the blue-haired guy, it makes sense why they decided to make him 15. That's around the age some people have to deal with this. It's not when I had to deal with it. No, I was too much of a introvert, closeted person to ever consider doing anything with another person. But I know some people are. I know some of you out there. I know some of you are doing stuff right now and watching this video. So thank goodness you're watching Nana. If you have friends that are in those kind of situations, maybe suggest to them that they should watch Nana. That way, it doesn't feel like you're just preaching them and telling them all the things that they should know, and it's in a show and it feels like it's another uninterested third party telling them this, and it's like, it works better. It works better. Watch these people make these mistakes rather than make these mistakes on your own. Nana is a series that covers topics that I'm almost certain will never be outdated, and that is the real value in Nana. And I hope you enjoyed this video. That's everything I have for you. Stay beautiful and keep playing.